got it? I'm gonna do this favor. I don't want to stick. What question is it?
Alright, folks, on our first dot, just gonna have you guys just squeeze it in just a little bit. Let's create a bit more room. Alright, yes, guys, feel free to take some pictures as well. Just gonna be here just for a minute or two. I kept coming down. Now, folks, just gonna have your attention for a few minutes. Now, just before we make our way across, just a few things I want to tell you guys about. Now, guys, today we are making our way across a floating pontoon bridge. Now, this is a floating trail that is directly at sea level, so it does rise and fall with the tide. That fluctuates anywhere in between 2 to 5 feet every single day. As of right now, I am pointing it out to you because this is the highest point we've seen in the Crystal Cave for around 6 weeks. What that means is these stalactites above your heads, the formations, will be a little closer to our heads today. See, some of us have some height to us, which is a lovely thing, but you're going to have to duck in a few places here in this cave today, right? Now, if you guys did not know, Crystal Cave is the most historical cave here on the island. It would have been found in 1907. Now, this cave would have been found by two very brave 13-year-old boys by the names of Carl Gibbons and Edgar Hollis. These boys were playing cricket, a regular day it started off to be, right? When one of the boys hits their ball into the trees, and the other boy goes to fetch after it. Couldn't find it until they stumbled across the sinkhole in the ground. This sinkhole, guys, does lie around 110 feet above this gap, just right here, okay? So when you guys get to the top of the staircase on our way out, I want you to look straight through this gap, and you will indeed see some daylight coming in. So that tells us that these boys were very brave. That's a little crazy as well, I'd say also, right? Because they would have ran all the way home to grab a kerosene lantern, as much rope as they could find, and made their way down into a pitch black cave in 1907. Now with that knowledge, guys, of course they did not find their cricket ball, but they weren't too bothered because they found Crystal Cave, right? Now, how these boys made their way out is probably the most incredible thing for me, right? Remember, they had a little bit of rope. They would have used a lot of upper body strength to make their way out of this cave and run all the way home to tell their parents. Parents weren't too happy, and they came over to the sinkhole, they assessed it, and they realized that these boys couldn't claim ownership of this new discovery because it was underneath their neighbor's property in 1907, ironically, right? So those two boys would have got some money to compensate, and a little bit of property around here today belongs to them and their family, just as a sign of gratitude from the Wilkinson family. Just behind us, guys, you can actually see as well how crystal clear this water really gets. Now, this is fresh and salt water, okay? We have the fresh rainwater that seeps down after around 5 to 6 days, and it mixes with the salt water. So it is brackish water. Average depth in here today, guys, is around 25 feet deep, and our deepest part actually reaches 125 feet as well. When we get to the very back, I will show you that. Last but not least, guys, just behind you, I believe there's a little blue and white bubble. Yes. So guys, we do keep that there not to tease you guys too much, but that's because that's how we used to navigate through this cave back in the day, right? In 1909, when we first opened up, we wouldn't have had this lovely tunnel coming in. We had around 255 steps, so we have improved significantly, right? 250 steps all the way from the top to the bottom, a little rope and ladder right here, get into the boats and navigate straight across. So it does sound pretty adventurous, but we had to stop. Because, well, Mr. Wilkinson, the owner of this cave, decided it's not the safest way. And if you guys look at some of these formations, you can tell that they have been vandalized over time by early visitors taking them home as souvenirs. Now, one more thing, a little funny, I will say, we cannot take any of these formations or touch them at least because they all don't really intertwine well with our natural oils in our fingers. So if you guys touch these, you run the risk of damaging the growth or stopping it long term. These don't grow very quick, guys. At only 1 inch every 100 years, these will grow. Okay? That's any questions? Any questions? Concerns? Prayers? Alright, guys, here we go. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yup. See you watch A.
Maybe 10, 15, at a stretch 20 feet. Right in this area, it is 45 to 50 feet, although it does not look like it, okay? That's because we do mix with the fresh rainwater and salt water, so it has this magnifying effect on our eyes. Also, if you guys are turning around, and you look over here where the light is shining, we are actually connected to Bermuda's airport, and that's where we get all of our salt water coming in from, right? That salt water, guys, will go straight up underneath what we call our cave dragon. The 2 teeth, just right here, his head and his spine. Underneath him, don't get confused by the cute face, it is around 155 feet as well. Now, we did have some very brave divers, guys, come down in 2015 to explore the tunnels, and they went through, they would have found 25 other connections to other cave systems here on the island, and also the connection with our fantasy cave as well, okay? Folks, we are looking over here as well. You guys are going to see some of the formations that I really want you guys to pay attention to, okay? Now guys, what we are looking at right here are the soda straw formations just right here, right? Very delicate, very brittle and light. A lot of times, guys, we see these formations making their way down because there's so much water in our limestone, okay? Just for a second, just want to show you guys a very nice light that we have here in the crystal cave. That's a nice light. Yeah, it's not bad, right? So yes, you guys want to take any pictures, go for it. If you have any questions, please ask.
This one right here. Crystal clear.
Yes, you guys do have a few minutes to roam around. Just be very mindful. The formations are going to be a little closer to our heads today. So just take your time going in and going out. Yeah, if you guys do want to get back here, you can as well. If you want to go back there.
Mom, you know how our was going downstairs on the creek.
I don't remember. Do you remember Ruby Falls, the underground waterfall?
Yeah.
It's getting me so wet.
The things are drifting over here.
I don't remember that.
Ruby Falls 3 years ago.
I don't remember.
Kate, nope. Katie Marie asked.
That one here too.
Gonna be first. You're the smallest.
You're gonna cut it.